popcorn. We are two niggas spoiling movies. Yeah. Brandon Collins, that's me, and Justin Brown for your movie needs. Media popcorn. Woo! You haven't seen it, well, we're gonna spoil it. Spoil it in your face. That's your warning. So if you get pissed, it's all your fault.
Well, slap me up and put me down. My name is Eddie Collins.
Guys, this is Justin Brown.
And we are Media Popcorn spoiling movies. But we're not really spoiling this one because this movie came out in the 80s.
1986.
Year of my birthday. Year of my life. Year of some weird-ass fucking movies because The Golden Child is a wild one. I had never seen this movie in its entirety. I stopped because a Patreon subscriber actually posted this. I talked to you offline about this, Justin, where they were like, yo, that blood in the oatmeal scene fucked me up. And I remember, I think I stopped watching after the blood in the oatmeal scene because I remember, one, I loved oatmeal at that time, and two, I thought it was the most disgusting thing I'd ever seen. So I stopped. I didn't eat oatmeal for a long time. And I never watched past that. And so I'm seeing all this with new eyes, Justin. I'm seeing all this that's unfolding in front of me, the Eddie Murphy shit. Brand new. And how the fuck did this movie get made? What is this? Does this count as a movie? Because the third act is fucking chippy choppy with the editing. It's like you try to give me a look over here, well, you doing some shit over there. That's it's all terrible. It's all terrible. The cutting, the editing was so bad. It was like, all right, they crashed the car. All of a sudden, they're like over here, and then they're going down this tunnel, and this like terrible CGI thing is behind them, and then like it's so bad. It's so bad. They're saying Eddie Murphy fighting a dragon, nigga, with a fucking steak,
With a fucking steak knife.
that he smuggled through security because he put it in a white man's pocket and then said he was like artifact security police or some shit in Tibet. It was, everything about this movie was so insane. Yeah, I mean, there's some crazy stuff. And then when you read like the trivia that Lluvia found, this was originally supposed to be like a straight drama. And then they added Eddie Murphy, and I guess he kind of wanted to play it straight, but then they got worried about the tone. They added more like Beverly Hills Cop-ish community beats, which you can absolutely see. And so it's just, the tone is completely uneven because I'm like, who is this for?
But you know what? There are quite a number of Eddie Murphyisms in this film that played so well, though. Like so at the beginning, so. like when the chick shows up, on the basketball court. Which, hold on, who is this young lady?
Key Nang, played by Charlotte Lewis.
Charlotte Lewis, yeah. Miss Charlotte Lewis. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. Absolutely.
Well, she's one of the women that like accused Roman Polanski of sexual assault, right? She's one of the reasons why he can't come to the country.
More of a reason.
But she was not Asian. She's not Asian, right?
I know she's not Asian, but she's beautiful.
She's beautiful, absolutely. She's gorgeous. And she looks better now than she did when she made this movie. Because I think this movie, whoever the cinematographer was, they couldn't film anybody. They couldn't light anybody if their life depended on it. Because even the white people are terrible.
Well, I mean, my man Charles Dance, who played Cousin Noomsy, that dude, he looked nuts.
He really looked crazy.
Nuts at all points. Anytime you saw him, you had one thing to say to yourself, nuts. But I wonder how tall that actor is. Because he looks like at least he's 7'2" in his movie.
He has to be tall because he plays villains. He's been playing villains for decades. I mean, I know him most for like Tywin Lannister. He's the head of the Lannister family. He is fucking good at playing evil. In this movie, though, you could barely tell he was evil. Like, he was just a rich, spoiled white guy who dressed weird. I was like, in 1986, if I saw that nigga at the airport, I'd be like, he's a vampire, right?
Yeah.
The way he looked like Blade. He looked crazy. And then he was like, if this man doesn't give me what I want, you arrest him. I was like, all right. Guys, this is insane. Also, Can we talk about airplanes back in 1986 when apparently niggas could, one, smoke on the airplane?
Yeah.
And two, remember they had those nasty ass headphones? This is
Yep.
before Clorox wipes. I was like, every time I saw Eddie Murphy pop those in his ear, I was like, I gagged. I was like, oh, think about all the fucking earwax on that shit.
And Charles Dance was 6'3". He's 6'3". But
He's still alive.
Yeah. 78 years
78.
old. Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks like it, like the way, maybe it's also probably because people are more, they wore more platforms, because he looks like he's like 6'5", 6'6" in this film.
He definitely did. Okay, let's get into this fucking movie. I don't quite know what happened. I don't quite understand what was going on. Also, I thought the golden child, I thought the kid was in the movie more. I thought like the kid was more involved. I thought the kid went with them to Tibet and shit like that. I thought it was like more.
No, you're rescuing the golden child, Brandon.
I had no idea what the fuck. I told you, like, I realized I never actually watched this movie. And so I'm watching it. I'm like,
you're
all right,
losing out.
I was like, Eddie Murphy's in Tibet and acting a damn fool. It was like, oh, I watched this. You know what it was? I'm glad I'd never seen this in entirety, because it would have made Chris Tucker's performance in Rush Hour 2. I would have been like, yo, this nigga's robbing Eddie Murphy right now. The Blackfish Out of Water International, like the way you play it, that would have like ruined the Chris Tucker performance for me.
Fair. Yeah. And I could see, I mean, I saw this movie when I was a kid. So this has been, this has been one of the ones I was like, Golden Child, always a funny movie to make.
Yeah. Oh, you thought this is funny, man? This movie was fucking, first of all, Eddie Murphy is like a private investigator, ?
Yeah. No. So he worked, I guess he's either a private investigator or he works in like a special unit. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's like lost children or something like that. So I think he works in conjunction with the department, because he, like, when they find that girl's body, they call him.
Yeah, Wikipedia describes him as a social worker, which is insane. Because if he's a social worker, he definitely can't afford a flight to Tibet.
True.
Even though I think they're supposed to say Ki Nang, she's financing all this whole thing.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is everything about her character, which is, this is written by Dennis Feldman, and I was like, no surprise. Like, I didn't even know that it was written by a male, but you could tell it was written by a male. You know what I mean?
But at the same time, man, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't care. I was into her at this time. So
not saying you don't have to be into her. I'm just saying, like, she had no agency, really. It was just like, she would just react to things. And then the love story between her and Chandler, Eddie Murphy's character, was so great.
They really,
she's crying in the pillow.
When
she's crying in the pillow, like, but he's like, I was like, there's no chemistry between the two of these two. Also, like, they're not in love. She just starts talking to Grandpa from Three Ninjas about love and like marriage, and like Eddie Murphy's talking to him about marriage. I'm like, what? Like, they smashed once. I did love though when he was like, when she's dropping him off, he's like, hey, I'm sorry that was a little harsh. You should come upstairs for a while. It's like, fucking Eddie Murphy laugh for me did not work in this one. He did it way too much. He did that way too much in this movie.
Okay.
It was too much. Okay, the beginning, we find Chandler. He's on a news station saying, he's like, I find kids. I was like, this is mad creepy. And then the host is like, it's all right, man. I'm nervous. Is anyone else nervous? I was like, okay, what's the tone of this movie? Because it's based around a kidnapped child. Right?
Well, he's on like a public access show.
Yeah, and then we get to did I ever tell you, I did public access one time. I was promoting Comedy Outliers with Mike Brown.
Mm.
And, like, I've done stuff with you. I've worked with you. I've worked with other people that are always like, hey, I like to make an awkward situation more awkward and just see where it goes. Like, you guys are just like, oh, like, let me shimmy it up a little bit. So it's a holiday show, and there's this guy who's it's public access. He's interviewing Mike and I, and he looks kind of like the dad from the live action How the Grinch Stole Christmas, like the live Who, like the Cindy Lou Who's dad or whatever, with the glasses and everything. He's just asking these questions about life and family and the holidays and stuff. And then Mike is just like, I'm gonna counter this nigga and see what he says. He was like, hey man, what about you? What's your like deepest, most emotional memory on Christmas? Because like the guy just asked us that, right?
Mm.
And then this white dude's eyes glaze over. He tilts his his feedback, and then goes to talk about how like his mom died Christmas Eve not too long ago, and so he like remembers her spirit and all this shit. Like he goes into a very emotional soliloquy, and Mike swears that he saw my like body, my spirit leave my body in that moment, that interview. He's like, oh, like in that moment, I'm doing this interview by myself, and I feel he just saw like I just left. Yeah,
I mean,
public
that
access.
is,
I feel like I was like in my head, I calculated. I was like, nope, this ain't worth it. I'm out mentally.
I mean, that is something that I would ask. But also like if someone asks you, a very, personal question like that, and you're sharing, it's just like, wait, are we all sharing? So like as an interviewer, that guy should have been prepared to have something prepared, not to, to be throw something out there.
Man, I just remember that nigga's eyes glazed over. He leaned back. I was like, we about to be in some shit. We about to hear some shit. Is everything okay, Justin?
Oh, you hear them screaming in the
Yeah,
background?
we hear that. We hear the commotions.
Hey, baby.
I mean, you do have 3 boys, so it's bound to be a loud house. It'd be weird if it was just quiet.
This is what they do. This is what they do.
Can we talk about the dragon snake lady?
All right. Yes.
She's like that because one of her ancestors was raped by a dragon.
Yes.
I texted you and you didn't answer. I was very upset at you. I was like, this movie's fucking nuts. And that's like 10 minutes in.
It's
we're
not
off
10
to the
minutes.
races like immediately.
Hold on. No, it's not 10 minutes in. She's
it's about a half hour.
It's about a half hour in. And so basically
oatmeal's 10 minutes in. The oatmeal's real quick with the blood.
Yes. I'd say that's maybe 15. That's 15 minutes. You get the bloody oatmeal, and then another 15 minutes. Then you're gonna get Dragon Lady. All right. So basically, they're like, all right, we want to bring you down to talk to this woman because she may be able to answer some of your questions and yada. And then basically we have, like he's talking to a silhouette behind like a curtain, whatever. And but you could see that she's bad. You can see there's a pretty woman back there. Brandon, no, the Asian woman.
I could see the opium pipe, and then I hear this. So I'm like, clearly this is a snake lady. So immediately I'm like, well, I don't want to. I don't find anything about this attractive, Justin.
Yeah, but we did see like glimpses of the face, and the face was it was an attractive woman that they had playing this half snake, half woman. Do you not agree?
I don't agree.
I think that I think that you are unsure about your sexuality because that woman was very pretty. How dare you? Do we have a picture of
Justin? I need you to focus. We're not going to debate whether or not the crazy, terrible CGI snake lady was attractive.
I think that she was.
Okay,
I don't even think it's debatable. Anyhow, so they're having this chat, and later on in the movie, Eddie Murphy's getting frustrated. He knocks down the curtain, and you actually see that it's like a fucking
dragon snake lady.
It's half snake, half woman. Which the look on his face, just like what? What's amazing?
There were some insane people, the designs, creatures, what have you in this movie. I mean, they had a monkey man named Fool. Yeah. They had other weird little creature people. They had weird fight scenes. At one point, Chandler has to do a trial where he's like walking on these logs and shit. Yeah. And he has a little cup and he's not supposed to spill a drop of water. They literally had a cut where he definitely spilled a drop of water. I was like, oh, are we not even playing by our rules anymore? What's happening here? And the editing was just so bad where you could clearly tell whether it was a stunt person. It was so egregious. It was not smooth at all. It's like, clearly that's a different black dude than Eddie Murphy.
Brandon, it's 1986. It's 1980 fucking 6. Like you're not watching. I don't know what America's finest cinema. You're watching Eddie Murphy, like supernatural film based in California, also based around just the madness of California Chinatown.
Uh-huh.
And
There was a
and
lot of madness. Yeah, like because we had that sloth like dude who's watching the Golden Child who like is using telepathic powers to fucking smash and create like a little doll out of a Pepsi can. And the sloth dude, she was like, and I was just like, I need someone to explain to me what the fuck is going on. Like, I was bewildered for this movie is 94 minutes. I was bewildered for 92 of it. The only time I wasn't confused was when the end credits rolled.
I think that you were looking at this with a crazy critical lens for no reason. And like I feel like we have switched gears in the sense of like this is like one of those things that you kind of just enjoy for what it is, especially being a movie from 1980. Like again, I've seen this as a kid. I've always understood what was going on with this. I don't get how as a grown ass man you don't know what's going on.
Well, because it got insane, man. We out of it. First of all, the logic doesn't make any sense. They're saying Eddie Murphy's the chosen one. He
Yeah.
hasn't done anything. Like he constantly is following up. He doesn't do any. He doesn't find any success through
It's
actual.
his destiny, Brandon. It's destined. It was written. It was written. It was prophesized.
Okay, I want you, Lluvia, take note of what Justin's emphasizing and how that's such a big part of the storyline and how he buys into it wholeheartedly. Because when it comes to Harry Potter and the Order of the fucking Phoenix, I want to hear you have that same energy for that shit. You understand?
No, Brandon.
You understand what I'm saying?
You're talking about dumb white magic shit. I'm talking about some shit that came out that I got when I was 4 years old. I understood what was going on in this movie. The fact that you can't get this is actually
Oh
pretty.
no, I get it.
No,
I get it. It's terrible. It's terribly executed. First of all, again, Chandler can't.
Go ahead.
We don't see anything about Chandler in the setup of the story that shows that he's capable of handling the challenges that come in front of him, which include one, like passing several trials, dealing with the germ petri dish that is Grandpa from Three Ninjas, because that nigga's just blowing boogers and rubbing them in his chest and like, you love you love King Nang and stuff. You gotta be good, boy. But I actually speak English, and I hated this whole thing.
Okay.
And also, he fights a dragon dude who hits him with his wing, and he just like, like Eddie Murphy's not supernatural.
Listen.
He's not a superpower.
The thing was a demon, and it does it look weird? Yes, but every single movie trying to portray a demon in 1986 looked freaking weird, just like this. This is not the only movie I've seen where the graphics look like this. And yeah, is it rough? Oh yeah, yes, real bad, real bad.
It's so bad. Again, Justin, I had no idea what to expect. So I'm thinking Charles Dance. There's gonna be a fight scene between him and Eddie Murphy and stuff like that. And I halfway through this movie, I'm like, oh, that's the nigga from the Last Action Hero. I was like, he was a big villain in the 90s, in like the early 90s and stuff like that. But it's obviously like late 80s, probably the start of that. And so then he like turns to Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy's like, that's my sweet friend Noomsay, whatever. And then the nigga's just like inflamed and becomes a demon. I was just like, what?
So, all right, you did not even find it the least bit entertaining that he walks. He's just like, Cousin Noomsay, I've come to see, whatever. And then he turns it, and then, the skin starts peeling off of him. And then like that demon thing. So he's just like, I think I'll come back. And he just runs away. Like, of course, that's what we would all do.
I think, yeah, like that was funny. It's just, I didn't get the tone of this movie because the way it's filmed and the way it is edited, it's very eerie. In a way, it's not really funny. It's not made like it doesn't have the pacing of a comedy.
So, all right, this is
the tone is all over the place.
Well, but like you said, Brandon, Eddie Murphy, and it was originally written to be more of a straight film, right? And then upon signing Eddie Murphy, they were just like, hey, we should add more comedic elements into this. And I feel like with the comedic elements, they didn't even go over the top with any of that stuff, because it's not over the top as it like you would expect for an Eddie Murphy film in 1986.
This is true. This is a bit more serious for the Eddie Murphy fare, especially in regards to like the themes, child abduction, kidnapping.
Yeah,
all
I
that
mean,
stuff.
because like even with because Eddie Murphy in most of this film, he's actually pretty straight. He played it pretty straight. The only things like the only times that he wasn't the straight man was he was on the plane and he just started singing. Like he had that aspect. 'Cause even like on a radio show, is like that guy was being absurd and just kept on cutting them off. And he just grabbed the mic and he was just like, and the guy tries to grab the mic. He's like, you turn that mic off, you turn the camera off of me. I'm gonna put my foot in your ass. And he finishes this thing off and he walks off. Right. So like we didn't have a bunch of moments where Eddie Murphy was just shucking it up, shucking and jiving on the screen outside of I want the knife, that whole thing. But that's just him not believing what's going on, because he's also like that dude. I mean, all right, the grandfather stealing $100 from him, and then him walking down the street being just like, if I see anybody see a naked dude walking around with $100, just know I'm gonna kick your ass and all of that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like his punchlines were very redundant. Like he talked about breaking someone's ass or something like that, like at least 5 times.
Yeah. Well, guess what, Brandon? That's what niggas do.
Yeah, but it just that and the laugh. Like I felt like he was going back to the well, and it felt like after reading Lluvia's trivia, that like that was the studio note, right? Which is like, hey, do more of your Eddie Murphy isms, even if it doesn't really call for that. You know what I mean? Even if it doesn't really match the scene you're in. I think you have such a you have such a connection to this movie because of your childhood. It's blinding you from being able to look at this movie and see how fucking cuckoo bananas it is. And
Actually, to tell you the truth, I don't think so. And the main reason is because like if somebody stole $100 from me.
Oh, we're talking about the $100 still.
Yeah. If somebody stole $100 from me on the streets of Tibet or whatever, am I likely to be ranting and raving about that $100 for the next 4 to 5 hours, for the next 2 days? Yes. Will it be funny to me? No, but it's funny to everybody else. It's like, nigga, you still on that $100? It's like, yeah, of course I am. The fact that he's rowing the boat, he's just like, we could have got an engine if that motherfucker is still $100. Like all those little things. He's like, I hope they got a specialist who can scrape my ass off of this yak. Like little things, just little shit like that. He was just basically calling out all the things that were happening in the film. But like, yeah, I think that he was actually just being a little bit more authentic to like just like what any nigga would say in those moments.
Okay. When we push record on this episode, I did not think that I was going to have to debate you about the quality of the Golden Child. I thought we were going to be on the same page about, hey, this is not great, right? This is a pain to watch, right? And you're like, no, I think you missed it, Brandon. I think
I really do. I think
the performance that is Eddie Murphy in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what did you say? Yeah, wait, come again? Grandpa Victor Wong. I call him Grandpa because he's notorious from Three Ninjas and shit. I wrote down. He was like, "This is mad sexist." The Key Nog is going to him for advice, right? This is after Eddie Murphy's talked to him about, what do you do if like you might want to marry somebody, blah blah blah, and then she's going to him like to the grandpa like, oh, like I don't know about this guy, and there's so many mixed emotions, and he's basically like, get with him. I love America. Like it's just like a very weird speech he gives her.
No, I mean I think his speech.
He's basically like, yo, just shut the fuck up and marry this black dude because he's an American and America is awesome.
No, well, I do.
He basically says that he should have been raped in an American flag. That's how much of a patriot he seemed to be.
I do think it was more of like, it's just like the Americans don't realize how much power they hold in their hands. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, yeah, it's like, yeah, the guy's not perfect, but he's actually comes from a good place. Which I think that if you look at the character, you kind of deep down look at the character, he's not like a piece of garbage. Eddie Murphy's character is not a piece of garbage.
Well, he does
care.
He is very aggressive towards Key Nang at the beginning. Like he doesn't really take the no when he's like hitting on her. He kind of wears her down.
What do you mean?
Remember in the car, he kept asking different ways for her to come upstairs.
Oh,
I was like, come on, man! Like,
yeah. I mean,
this
is is also 1986.
What does that mean, Justin?
Shit could have been 10 times worse.
Oh my God.
Not saying it would have been warranted, but 1986. If it was somebody else, this movie would have went very much differently.
I mean, this movie was a hit. It came out December 12th, 1986, and had a budget of $12 to $24.5 million and made $149.4 million. Which is interesting.
Yeah. AKA you wrong, baby.
I mean, I'm fine with not liking a movie that that did well at the box office and stuff. That's fine with me. I just, and I'm a big Eddie Murphy fan. It's not like I went into this movie hoping to dislike it or anything like that. I just like, the fuck is going on? And then, when we get to the devil dude, the demon dude and his whole posse of weird ass Dr. Isla Monroe motherfuckers, I was kind of like, which way is up? And then Eddie Murphy is fighting them, and then you got the kid with the powers who's able to turn on his car and things. And it's just like, well, if you could do all this, kid, how did you just not leave?
Because they were writing all this evil shit all over the water,
the curses and stuff. It's like a block.
Yeah. So to basically block his powers because he had to be surrounded in evil. But that's also why they were trying to feed him blood, because it would have been, again, it would have taken away his powers and weakened them to make it easier for them to kill him.
Yeah. Yeah, the blood stuff was kind of serious.
Well, I also think that it was, they really set up the world, at the beginning, even with the sense of, sorry, touch the mic. They didn't touch him, right? Everybody hey, don't let him touch you and shit like that. He touches that one guy, and then the guy starts fighting for him and things like that. So it's just oh yeah, this kid is powerful, but there are clear rules on how to engage the child, because if you get too close, if you're doing certain shit, you're cooked.
Someone's in this room with me.
What do you mean someone's in the room with you?
You guys hear that? Was that Justin?
What are you hearing?
I'm hearing is that from Justin? I'm hearing a paper crackle or something.
Yeah, that was Paula. That was a bag.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Dude, your audio is freaking me out, man. Before it was we thought it was a hurricane or an earthquake or some shit. Oh my God, I thought there was someone in here with me, eating chips or something. I was like, what the fuck is going on? It's paranormal activity.
It's funny because I was wait, is Brandon hearing that and thinking that's him on his side?
He saw my face, right? He saw me freak out. Oh, sweet God.
That was great. You know what? I shouldn't have said shit. I should just let it keep on going.
This haunting ass episode.
You'd have moved out of your fucking house.
The demon for the movie comes in you didn't believe. Oh shit. I mean, I did when the demon popped back up, at the house when he's getting the kid. And so I was like, okay, that's a fun little thing to bring back and stuff. I thought it was insane that he was able to bring Keenang back to life after she got that ass whooping.
I mean, yeah, that ass whooping. I mean, after she got shot with a fucking arrow in the back.
I thought you got shot with a bullet.
No, it's an arrow.
Well, yeah. You know, you get in where you get in.
I mean, but this kid is like basically a god.
Yeah. I mean, that can be used for bad. So are they keeping that kid? I know they
No,
like
he's
talk
going-
about Tibet. It's
he's
up at
going
the
back to
end, but
Tibet.
like, but they look like they're going like on a fucking field trip or something like that. I'm like, nigga, don't you have to go on a plane? Shouldn't you have gone the next day? Like they're like walking around like, oh, when you get to Tibet, you gotta be cool with the music and stuff like that. I'm your black stepdad now. Let me teach you some things.
I believe that actually the golden child, that was a little girl, not a little.
So it is a girl.
Yeah.
That's part of the trivia. Although the child is referred to as a boy throughout the film, the actress is actually a girl.
Yes.
So I don't know.
I don't know, man.
All right, so going to the trivia I was talking about earlier that Lluvia pulled, Paramount took too much notice of the preview audience's unease about the unfamiliarity of Eddie Murphy's character during the first screening. The audience had gotten to know Murphy so well through Beverly Hills Cop, which came out in 1984, and they wanted the character to be much more like that. The studio went back and reshot a lot of footage of Murphy doing Eddie Murphy isms and put them in the picture. Then they took out a score by John Williams and replaced it with something more funky.
Yep, I can see like the opening song and opening credits.
Oh yeah,
It's very much like when Eddie Murphy pops up. Is like it's very much Beverly Hills Cop, and like
Yeah,
the
Tati-
song almost sounds like Beverly Hills Cop song.
Yeah, Tati said that. She was like, this is, well, she just said in general, she's like, this is so 80s.
Yeah.
This whole, the music and stuff, whatever's going on right now. She's like, this is ridiculous. But yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. Like, well, it's also a sign of the times, right? Because in 1986, when they were test screening this, this is back when it really was true. There could only be like one black star.
Yeah.
And Eddie Murphy was that dude. And so I can see people being like, I don't want to see a black guy in a more serious thing, especially someone like Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
Which is probably what's fucking hurt him in getting the respect that he deserves for the dramatic work he's done.
True.
Because if that's how people like in the peak of it, like not the peak of a star, well, it might have peaked at Nutty Professor, let's say, right? But like at the ascension of his stardom, are saying, I don't want to see him in anything besides, the shuck and jive and shit that he does in Beverly Hills Cop or 48 Hours or something like that, Trading Places, right?
Yeah.
That really, that's the beginning of like the whole, like you're being pigeonholed in like, or, you're being typecast.
Oh yeah, true. No,
which has to suck because I'm sure, imagine if Eddie Murphy was like, because Eddie Murphy said like, he doesn't like this movie. He's kind of denounced it, but he also said that the script was way different than what the final film ended up being.
Yeah.
And I'm sure like him having to Eddie Murphy it up probably was like, I hope you guys make this work. And in editing, they were just like, this doesn't make any sense, dude. Like, why would he be laughing after this? He almost died and almost spilled the drop of water. Or whatever. By the way, if I had to do that trout, me and that glass are gone.
My question is, how does he get out of there after he got did somebody come in and get him?
Yeah, it's like the floor is lava. Like, how do you get back?
Yeah, like, what's going on here?
Have you ever watched that show on Netflix?
I have. It's hilarious.
It's so weird, man, because you see people do the stupidest decisions, and you're just like, why would you? But I guess it's different than being there in the moment, like you're feeling that pressure and anxiety. But then you see people like, they try to jump forward, and you're like, oh, you ain't cool.
Yeah. Oh, it's over now, baby. It's over now.
Like, immediately they fit. Like, I've seen some people try, they don't even get to jump. They like slip on their, just slide into the lava.
I mean, what I very much enjoy is when somebody is just like they're going to jump and they don't even get the opportunity to jump. It's just like it's like, all right, I'm here.
Oh my God. We should do Flores Lava, the Media Popcorn team.
What's that?
Me, you, Lluvia, and Tati. We should do the Flores Lava.
Oh, you want to like?
Oh well, we'll lose. We're gonna lose, but it'd be hilarious. Our fans would love that shit.
You know what? Let's just go on a game show.
Oh, okay. Any game show?
Huh?
Any game show.
Oh,
that will take us.
Oh well, Actually, you know what's funny? I just got reached out to by a company for a game show, but there's no way I could go with you on it because it's like a karaoke game show, and I know that you cannot remember any words. So that's
They're on a screen in front of us.
Brandon.
Hit me with your best shot. Fire away.
See, and
See?
even right there, you even missed some words.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
What? But hit me with your best shot.
It's hit me with your best shot. Why don't you hit me with your best shot? Hit me with your best shot. And fire away.
See, you would fill in the middle.
No. So regardless, you would fail so bad because the other fact is because you know that I'm competitive. You know I'm competitive.
Yes.
And for me to go on to a show and I'm gonna let you embarrass me on Beyonce's internet. That would be the end of the show. It'd be the end of this show for you.
I'd be like, next episode after I ruined it for us, I'm like, hey everybody, all right, so we're gonna talk about pads and four. And then you're like, no, we're not, nigga. No, we're not. We're gonna talk about how you bombed that shit, and this is the last episode. Oh God. But the bear went to Harlem. We gotta talk about it. Imagine Paddington to Harlem.
Well,
Actually, white people will be like in love with him because there's nothing but white people.
That's true. But I would
Paddington
hope
in the Bronx.
He fucks around in East Harlem and he at like 4:00 in the morning.
Oh no, he goes. Paddington goes to East Orange, New Jersey.
No.
It's like a crackhead put me on a bus. And now I'm here. Give me your hat, nigga. All right. Lluvia in our chat, our producer said, as long as we have to go on Squid Game, I'm good. Lluvia, if we're on Squid Game, that us succeeding as a team is the least of your problems.
Yeah.
If we are in the Squid Games, Lluvia, you are free to do what you got to do. You don't have to worry about Justin, myself, or Tati.
Just know, Lluvia, if we go on Squid Game, I am no longer running with you, Nix. I am officially on my own.
You're a free agent. Oh man, I you know what would happen to me, Justin? You know what would happen? You'd be like licking your little cookie, and then you look over at me, I'll lick it, and then mine breaks, and then just look at you with those doe eyes before they shoot. Yeah, just like I just look at you and say, nuts in a bucket. That's it. And then Tati's like, Justin, what were his last words? You're like, he said, I loved you so much.
I'd be like, nah, I would look at Tati right now. I just said, he said nuts in a bucket.
And she'd be like, wipe away a tear and be like, that's my brand.
Oh, God.
Why are we talking about me getting executed in Squid Games?
Because if we were on the show.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, boy. Eddie Murphy turned down a role in Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home, in order to make this movie.
Yikes.
That's a Soapy's choice right there. And this is his first PG-13 movie, which is wild because, I mean, that blood in the oatmeal scenes warranted of a her rating. That scene fucked me up, dude. That's so gross. That was so nasty.
Do you really think it was blood, Brandon?
No, but it looked nasty. And remember, oh shit, Justin. Here's why it fucked me up. Remember oatmeal? Remember oatmeal used to do, they had the jelly, like the dinosaur eggs and shit like that, like the jelly things, right? That would go in oatmeal. But do you remember the packets? She used to put like what I think is almost like a toaster strudel in your oatmeal. Folks, call in if you remember this shit. They used to have like additives that you could add to your oatmeal to make it more colorful, more like flavorful and stuff. And I used to love like the strawberry one you could put in your oatmeal. So it looked like that. That's why it grossed me out so much.
Okay.
You never had that growing up?
No.
Did you eat oatmeal growing up though?
Yeah. As you get the Quaker Oats little packages.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
I never had something with fucking dinosaur eggs or any bullshit like that. What the fuck are you talking about?
Man, you and Tati be dismissing my childhood. Like, sometimes they'll be making me feel like a spoiled little bitch. When you'd be like, dinosaur eggs in your oatmeal.
Yeah.
Fancy
Yeah,
nigga.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Well, I was the only child. So, my mom was probably just like, the least they could do is have friends in the cereal.
Listen, I'm going to tell you right now. We had whatever they had at BJ's, Costco, fucking Sam's Club. That's what we got. In bulk, nigga. In bulk. There are too many of us niggas in the house. It was in bulk. Whatever they could find in bulk with a capital fucking B, that's what I had. And it wasn't no fucking fancy shit either. There were no goddamn dinosaur eggs. It was just fucking a packet and fucking and milk if you're lucky. If not, it was water in the microwave. You sit there and just eat your fucking gruel before school, and then run out to the damn bus.
Yeah, you said like Smacks and Golden Crisp and shit.
Nah, I didn't have that shit. If we had all the crazy cereals, you know when we got those? Because somebody fucked up and said, hey, go to the store and grab X, Y, and Z, and oh, you need cereal. Go ahead and get some cereal. And then we were able to grab the bullshit ass cereals. You know what kind of cereals I used to get? Fucking just not even Special K, just regular cornflakes. Just dry ass cornflakes.
I used to have to add sugar to that, and it never tasted right.
It used to go crazy if you got to get some frosted cornflakes.
Yeah, that used to.
Or I used to get Raisin Bran. I love Raisin Bran to this day. But like when I was a kid, I never realized how much I was just like, oh, Raisin Bran is an amazing cereal. Why? Because I wasn't getting marshmallows in my cereal, Brandon. No marshmallows. The closest thing I could get was fucking raisins. You know what that's like?
Raisin Bran was good. I didn't like marshmallows.
No, it is. But I wanted Lucky Charms too. I wanted Lucky Charms. I wanted Fruity Pebbles. I wanted Fruity Pebbles. I didn't get no Fruity Pebbles. I get to have a crazy cereal once or twice a year. All the other time, and you know what? My brother, he was always he was able to get some Cookie Crisp. He was able to get Cookie Crisp. I don't know how he was able to do it, but this motherfucker would get Cookie Crisp, and I was always so jealous.
You guys didn't share cereals as a family?
No, we would, but you know what? Other niggas would hide cereal away.
You guys were like the kids with heavyweights.
They would hide their cereals. No, like, no. Nah, that's my cereal. I bought my own cereal. My brother still harbors cereal today, to the very day. If I go to his house right now, I can tell you that there's a fucking Cookie Crisp hidden somewhere in that house, and I gotta find it.
All right, so the Golden Child. We didn't even talk about the crazy fight scene where out of nowhere, Ki Nang starts fighting and she starts flipping around like a fucking Power Ranger.
Yeah. So busting these guys in the ass.
Let's not busted in the ass, Justin.
Oh, you mean like when he goes into the biker house and then he gets they get to jump on him and that dude's coughing in his face with the beer, which is just nasty.
Yeah, that was gross. Nasty.
And then she just comes in and just starts kicking people up in their stomachs. She starts folding niggas over.
But I was just like, such terrible editing where you're just like, all right, you're not even trying to hide the stuff person.
Listen, man, I mean, it's also, they're trying to, she's playing an Asian girl. Of course, she's under no martial arts. Again, because it's 1980. It's the 1980s.
Kind of miss that old assumption. I kind of like, because I feel like we were robbed of a really fun action scene in the Fast and Furious movies, or at least a really funny joke if they had the balls to make it. Remember when Han and Tyrese are fighting those dudes? I think it was in Fast 6 and they got their ass whooped.
Yeah.
It would have been so fucking, and it's on par for Tyrese's character to make a comment to like Han and be like, bro, you didn't know how to fight them? Because they're fighting two Asian dudes.
Yeah.
You didn't know how to do any of this shit.
Yep.
Yeah. It felt very, her scenes felt very Jim Cotta. I think that's why I also was just like, what is going on with this love story, female storyline?
Well, I think part of it is like she's just walking in and just wrecking shop, right? Also, when she gets shot in the back with the fucking arrow, right?
Jim Cotta.
Hold on. The dude pulls up the the arrow, and he's aiming to shoot Eddie Murphy.
Yes.
And she just starts flipping past him. I'm just like, why didn't you just kick this dude? Like, he's right there.
It's not going to make you as dizzy. He's going to be fucked up by the time you get to you.
So she's just flipping. She's just like, I'm going to get myself in between him. Like, what was her plan? To just block him and just get hit with the arrow? Or just stop him from shooting the arrow?
Neither one worked.
No, that part
got shot,
was weird.
And then they just draped a little like cloth over her. They're like, you got to find the child now if you want to bring her back to life.
Mm-hmm.
And Eddie Murphy's like, all right, come on, Shrek. He's like, aka little kid. Let's saves the kid.
Okay.
And then just carries them. He's like, you got to save this lady who claims she's Asian, but clearly isn't.
True.
And I didn't realize that they had smashed until like she was just like, you're not going to invite me upstairs? And then the next morning he's like, well, we can roll around and hey again if you want. I was like, wait, what? Yeah. They had no chemistry. They didn't even shoot kissing scenes.
Yeah. That was a little bit off-putting.
Yeah, man. It felt weird. I felt like the writer clearly was forced to add a female love interest, and this is what we got.
Yeah, because and to your point, they really didn't need to have like a love dynamic. I mean, even if it was just a thing where he was just like making he made some comments here and there, but they didn't have to hook up. But then again, this is the 1980s. The hero always had to get his mass in the film.
Yeah,
but this isn't also a typical Eddie Murphy film, so
yeah. Well, before we get to our final review on The Golden Child, we did get a Patriot thought or two. If folks remember, if you sign up at Patreon at patreon.com/mediapopcorn, you guarantee to have your thoughts or reviews of the film we're talking about read on that episode. So Courtney O'Connor wrote, an 80s classic action comedy. This is peak Eddie. Charlotte Lewis as Key Nang was beautiful, but also a badass. And I was surprised, like many, to find out years later that The Golden Child was actually a girl. But don't let that take away from the fact that this movie is plenty cuckoo bananas with the bloody oatmeal, the half snake woman, the monkey human hybrid henchman, the entire trip to Nepal, and the flying demon in broad daylight in LA. I still give it a large popcorn. Courtney, I love you. You're a huge, huge fan of ours. You are here. All right. Alicia wrote, flashback to my sister and I running around the house screaming, I want the knives. This movie is so ridiculous and doesn't really hold up, but holds so much nostalgia for a lot of 80s kids. I love it anyway. All right. Okay. Brooklyn Shube wrote, it's been a long time since I've seen that movie, but there's a scene of a bowl of oatmeal seeping blood. I was a traumatized teen. I couldn't eat oatmeal for 20 years because of that scene. LOL.
Fair.
Yep. I hear you there, Brooklyn Shube. I was fucked up from that scene too.
Okay.
So fucked up. And then our producer Lluvia pulled a few reviews from Letterboxd. No, actually, these are from IMDb. Oh,
ooh,
throwback.
Yeah, baby.
Throwback to IMDb. All right, let's start with the 10 out of 10 first. This one's from Hendrix1977. They wrote, anyone who thinks this film is crap clearly never watched it when they were younger, as this is a great film. So there, 10 out of 10 stars. All right. So that's the group you're with, Justin. That just letting you know.
Fair enough.
And the Yan Khan wrote, I love this movie. How can anyone not like The Golden Child? I saw this as a kid with my brothers and sisters, and I remember watching it over and over and over again. We all loved it and still do. I give it a 10 out of 10. It was witty, funny, great action, and the story was very cool. Golden Child is one of those movies that no matter how many times I've seen it before, I'd be willing to see it again. Eddie was hilarious. Charlotte was hot. And the supporting cast was awesome. The chemistry between Eddie, Charlotte, and the kid who played Golden Child was great. Only a person without any imagination could say this is not a great movie. I wish that I had 4 hands so I could give this movie 4 thumbs up. 10 out of 10 stars.
They know what it's about.
That's fucking nuts. And then Harry Plinkett, 14, wrote, and their subject is 0 for effort. Not one funny line. Abysmal script. Awfully shot and edited. Useless villains. Virtually non-existent plot. Whoever made this probably thought they could pull off another Beverly Hills Cop. The movie had a very basic plot, as made to work through excellent performances and an awesome soundtrack. But this time around, Murphy has no funny lines. He has no one interested in interacting with. The result is a very boring movie that's awfully stitched together. And on top of all this, it's tonally confusing. Jumping from lighthearted comedy to scenes of dead children and bowls with kids' blood doesn't work well at all. Ghostbusters tonal shifts effortlessly, but its writers knew what they were doing. As for silly Oriental lore, John Carpenter does it better. Oof, damn. But the greatest crime remains putting Eddie Murphy in the film and not giving him funny things to say. His charisma still works for the film and makes it watchable, but not enjoyable. 1 out of 10 stars.
Yikes.
All right, Justin, break down our rating system, baby.
Stop calling me baby. I don't know how many times I got to tell you this, Brandon. All right, guys. You know how we do this. We rate movies bags of popcorn, small, medium, large, and the XL for the exceptional. If a film doesn't deserve any hot, buttery popcorn, we throw it into the stale popcorn pile. We pile piles and piles of stale popcorn on top of it. So, Brandon, we went to 1986, and we watched a wonderful comedy called The Golden Child, starring Eddie Murphy. It's also got Charlotte Lewis, Charles Dance. What say you, sir?
Yeah, this is a small popcorn. I didn't have fun watching this. I was grossed out watching a lot of it between the bloody oatmeal and the snake lady that you apparently have some feelings towards. So I think you work those out how you feel, Justin. I did think that Eddie Murphy was pretty unfunny in this movie. It was pretty surprising how much his jokes didn't hit, or the things he was doing didn't hit. But then when you read that, like, basically they try to make this like a weird, kind of Beverly Hills Cop in their own way, the Paramount and, the powers that be, then you understand why it's such a tonal mess, in my opinion. So yeah, this just was just a big mess for me. Justin, what's your rating?
Yes. So I'm going to give this a medium. I'm going to give it a medium. Listen, obviously the CGI definitely don't hold up for this one. It looks nuts. That final act, that demon looks crazy, like real crazy. And it doesn't even like match with the rest of the film at all. It's just really, it's almost appalling how bad it looks. But at the same time, it's 1986. What were you expecting? I always enjoyed this film. I do wish that we did get more of the Golden Child, and that the film was like kind of more that it played to more of Eddie Murphy's strengths. And I wish that they didn't try to shoehorn a comedy into it. But that's what happens. That's what happens when somebody becomes a big star. So yeah, medium popcorn.
All right. Well, our producer Lluvia did pass along one more review that she thought we should read. This one is from Letterboxd. It's from Todd, who wrote in their 1 out of 5-star review of The Golden Child. If you enjoyed this movie as a child, don't rewatch it. This is horrible. Thank you for passing that along, Lluvia. Appreciate that. As always, folks, you can follow me at Frodo_Blackens on all social media platforms. FrodoBlackens.com for show dates. I got Drunk Black History stuff. Austin, LA, Detroit, Boston, and then 2 shows in New York. So definitely go to FrodoBlackens.com or DrunkBlackHistory.com for those show dates. And then you can follow Medium P Podcast on all social media platforms. Get your Medium Popcorn needs. MediumPopcorn.com specifically for our links to the podcast, YouTube page, which you should definitely subscribe to, and our Patreon. We are a Patreon-supported podcast. You go on Patreon, you get exclusive looks at future episodes, ad-free. Justin, tell them a little bit more about what's over at Patreon and also how they can follow you, my brother.
Well, first of all, guys, you can follow me at JBrownDid on all your social media platforms. But if you're loving this show and you want more of this show and you need more of this show, take yourself over to Patreon, patreon.com/mediumpopcorn. We have $2, $5, $10, and $15 packages. Our entire backlog is on Patreon. Bonus episodes, mini shows, And then just so much extra content that you need in your life. So again, patreon.com/mediumpopcorn.
Boogity boogity. All right, y'all. We love you, and we wish you nothing but peace and happiness
Yes.
in these dark times. And let this movie save you from, if you ever were considering rewatching The Golden Child, this review is like, maybe think something else. Do something else with your time.
Watch the movie, please.